know. I know. Boring. Urine drinking is a training you immunity. Do you participate in that then? To build your immunity? Maris M. We hitch around the Middle East? I'd like to, yeah. Bat urine is no drink. I agree with you. I wouldn't drink bat urine either. But anyone watching in chat, would you drink bat urine? Ever hitched a ride where either the drive had really bad BO or the car stunk? Oh, I've driven with some stinky people, but nothing too bad. What do you tell people from Vancouver when you're not? As someone who doesn't know you, nor from anywhere near that area, I am offended. That's true. Really, my goal while I travel is to offend as many people as I can. And telling people I'm from Vancouver when I'm from Vancouver Island is part of that. Why do you make life simpler for non-Canadians? Wait, what? Man, this stream has derailed into just a weird thing. I need to put sunscreen on as well. Camp last night? No, I was picked up hitchhiking and offered a place to stay. By the lady that picked me up. Where are we at on the road? After sunscreen, and then I gotta walk a little bit more to get to the highway. Ladies like the ruggedness. Yeah, people think I'm rugged. The ladies think I'm rugged, and then they realize I'm not that rugged. So sometimes the hitchhiking and the camping and stuff, it opens some doors, but once you get to know me, those doors then close again. You're streaming, homie. I gotta run. Tomorrow I'll be popping in. Alright, I'll see you when you pop in. Or so walk to the edge of town. Ah, that's solid. Sweet as. That's what people say here, right? I'm trying to adapt. Trying to be one with the locals. I think that chat is brain F. Like their brain has F'd. I agree. Everyone in chat, F to your brains. F to your brains. Bearded mustache look rugged. Until you get close to it, and then it looks pretty patchy. They adopted to the Monka rules of Twitch. The Monka rules. What's the Monka rules of Twitch? It got sensitive. Yeah, chat. You guys are sensitive. Too sensitive. Used to never let the beard grow out. Yeah, generally the strategy for the hitchhiking is to look as clean and presentable as possible. You're a very conscious, cleanly hitchhiker. Not so creepy. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. I'd maybe give you a ride? Yes. We did it. Yes. Impressed Trevor does sunscreen. He'll be so glad what he did when older. Won't have beat those horrible sunspots. This is good. Another accomplishment. What you stream on? A OnePlus 6 cell phone right now. I also have a LiveView based setup that uses a Sony FDR X3000 action camera. Trevor is the nicest person I've seen on the internet, but JK Kappa? Hold up. How do you interpret that? So you have the statement, nicest person I've seen on the internet, but JK. So then you take it away. But after the JK you put a Kappa, which is kind of like a double JK, because the Kappa just implies that you're joking about that. So are you joking about joking, which means that I am the nicest guy you've seen on the internet? You like what software? If I'm running the phone, it's just through Streamlabs, but then it's to an RTMP server. I use NoRep, and then that takes the video and audio from my Streamlabs, and then sends it to Twitch from there. Thinking into this too much? No, I'm thinking into this the perfect amount. Sure you were behind the separation of Quebec from Canada? No. When was the closest referendum? Wasn't it around like millennium, when it was like within a percentage point of Quebec separating? Like, if Quebec really wanted to leave, like, they voted for it, sure. I feel bad for all the maritime provinces, bro. Then they'd be separated from the rest of Canada. Poor New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland. They're all alone. Hi there. Well, I'm from Canada, but I started this trip in Auckland, so I've been slowly working my way south. But I broadcast the process of hitchhiking, so I just catch rides as I go and show what it's like to do it. Near Vancouver. Have you been to Canada before?
No. My mother's uncles went to Canada.
Oh yeah.
Some of them farmed in Calgary.
In Calgary, okay.
And others on Vancouver.
Oh, that's actually where I'm from, is Vancouver Island. Just most people don't know Vancouver Island, so hey, there you go.
Their surname's Glaister. Perry Glaister.
Glaister. Do you know which town on Vancouver Island or which city?
No.
Okay, alright. Because
That's all right.
okay, well that's cool. It's like that's where I'm from. That's my home.
Enjoy your
Have a good day. Yeah. Found anything different about New Zealand customs compared to other countries? They checked my tent. As a Canadian, I had automated customs, so I didn't actually have to talk to anyone until that point. On my declaration form, I had to check that I had a tent. There was one that's specific about like tents and other stuff. I forget, but it was tent. I have this, so then you have to go into a line that says you have something to declare. And I'm like, they're like, what do you have to declare? And I'm like, I have to declare that I have a tent. And they also made me show them the bottoms of my shoes. So I was like standing there, and it's like, can I see the bottoms of your shoes? I'm like, okay. And I'm like, he's like, you could have like turned around and like lifted up your foot backwards. And I'm like, that would have made a lot of sense, but I didn't think about that. Anyway, but then I went through, had to declare some stuff, and then the reason they want to check your tent out is because like you put stakes into the ground, there could be bugs and stuff in it. There's no problem with them wanting to see that. So I took out my tent and we ripped it out, and they kind of just like looked at it. They were looking for a specific kind of bug. I don't regularly show the bottoms of my shoes. Yeah, I didn't think about it. I was just like, I'm facing the dude and he wants to see the bottom of my shoes. So what do? I face the dude and I show him the bottom of my shoes. So you get the jitterbug. 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 Yeah, there's some bins here. What do we got?
Pitch New Zealand is Aussie.
Wow, this guy's flexible. I'm really not like. Alright, let's see. That's as much as we got there. Bottom of your shoes in Islamic countries, no same thumbs up. Well, I was just in an Islamic country. I was in Malaysia, and the thumbs up was not considered insulting there at all. You're not old enough to know Wham? Yeah, I am. Age gatekeeping, knowing Wham? Weird champ. Full brightness. Okay. To the highway. Aren't you more flexible, Kappa? I don't do enough yoga. I should start doing yoga every morning before I start hitchhiking or something. So many ads on VODs, it's crazy. I don't set any of that, that's just an automated Twitch thing of it, they do that. Well, you didn't stay in Ashburton. Been scary waking up there this morning? Would it? If I would have stayed in Ashburton, I would have camped out near the river. I think that would have been fine. What point do you ask for a ride when you get tired of walking? No, I start trying to hitchhike for a ride when I get to a point on the road where it makes sense to hitchhike. So right here, we're still in the town, and a lot of this traffic's going to be just local. They're not actually going in the direction I want to go. Also, once they merge with the highway, they'll be able to turn left or right onto it. They turn left, I think. I'm guessing that's how the road works. Morning. Turn left, that'll be the right direction. I'll be heading south on Highway 1. To turn right, that'll be north on Highway 1. So I'll get onto a road and where I collect only southbound traffic on the road I want to be on. And then in theory, every car that drives past me is actually going in the right direction where I'm trying to get to. Gotta be flexible for all the new things you learn in that book. You're just kidding. Oh yeah, Kama Sutra. You know, I've totally heard about that book and I've like seen the cover and stuff like that, but I never actually opened a book of Kama Sutra. So now I have to peruse that little book. I think this must be like the abridged version. It's like I've seen some in there. They can be like a decent chunk. Like this is just like a little tiny book. I just realized I have to go to the washroom. What road is this? Is this the one? See, there's a method to this. There is a method to my madness. A little bit. But, like, the comparison I make a lot of times for, like, the location thing with hitchhiking is... because most people would probably be able to imagine this at least a little bit in their head. So, like, let's say you're in New York City and you want to hitchhike outside of New York City. Let's just say, like, straight west. You know, hitchhike across America. You wouldn't want to start trying to hitchhike in Times Square. There's a ton of traffic and stuff like that. That's going to be mostly like taxis, and if people are driving around, then this is probably local traffic. Very few of the cars in Times Square driving around through there are actually going to be heading west out of New York City. Here we go. Dunedin, 1, west, straight. Book you want to read is Jewel in the Lotus. Awesome breathing exercise. One exercise brings on orgasms. Fancy book. Some advanced techniques there. Are you a professional orgasm breather? Oh, the washroom is called a potty house. It's true. I think that is the official formal name. See, this one makes noise. So I'm well informed on when I'm allowed to walk and when I'm not. So it'll take you out of town. Yes! We're doing it. Look at the size of this butterfly. Man, New Zealand is a crazy place. Like, imagine you're just walking around. You know, butterflies will sometimes just like land on you. Well, it's rare, but I've had a butterfly land on me before. Imagine you get one of those giant New Zealander butterflies. And just like, you're just like walking around, you have your like arm right there, and then boom, this huge butterfly just lands right on you. Do you always travel alone? The vast majority of the time, we're talking like 98-99% of the time, I'm traveling solo. Well, there's a servo. Probably have a washroom. I should probably use the washroom. Oh, I feel bad using a place and not buying anything. Mini Mothra, yeah, there you go. That's a Japanese thing, right? Mothra? Keep going, bro. Bigger one just on the road. Okay. Sorry for for all the questions and fascinated by this? No. No worries. Ask all the questions you want. The purpose of me starting to broadcast hitchhiking a year and a half ago was to show people what it's like, and part of showing people what it's like is answering questions about what it's like, how it works, process. As I hitchhiked for 4 years before that, and it's something I just enjoy doing. But understandably, not everyone knows everything about what it's like to hitchhike, so they'll have questions. And I usually have answers to those questions. So Team, are you heading north or south? South. I started in Auckland, North Island, and I've been slowly working my way south for the past 2 weeks. Going to Fiordland. What's that, like mountains to the middle of the west coast? Craziest thing ever to wipe your butt with? What a question that is. Poison oak? I had to. I just had to. No, nothing. Just carry some emergency TP with you. Did you stop by Christchurch? Yes, I did. But only for one night. Well, I kind of decided when I got to Christchurch is I didn't come to New Zealand to hang out in cities. It was a nice looking city though, or an interesting city. I came to kind of go town to town and check out like the beautiful landscape scenery, all that stuff. I was named Hitch and not Hitchhiker on Twitch. I was hoping to steal some of the views from people that watched the Will Smith movie Hitch, with him being like a relationship coach, and they go to Twitch and be like, I wonder if Will Smith streams his relationship coaching, like the hit romantic comedy Hitch, and then they find me instead, and they're brutally disappointed, but maybe they'll enjoy the change of pace that this provides. What I first thought when I tuned in for the first time. See, everyone thinks I'm going to be Will Smith, and they're solely disappointed because, well, like if you expect Will Smith and you get anyone else, it's going to be disappointing. Country is the worst city police. Don't say Canada. Well, I've had the worst interactions with police in the United States, but I've also had like the best interactions with police. Hey. Where is he walking with that plank of wood? Well, I was pretty freaking scared when I started hitchhiking, and then, you know, the first few times, pretty scared. It's pretty intimidating to be out there with your thumb out, like facing a bunch of traffic, having a bunch of people stare at you and drive right on by. And then a car pulls over, and that's pretty scary. You run up to a car, and you're like, who's in this car? Who's it gonna be? Are they dangerous? You know, by like 10 times, I was kind of used to it. By 50 times, it was completely normal. And now we're at about 1,700 times. You're not Will Smith, I feel so deceived. I'm sorry, but it's all part of my, you know, 5-head strategy to grow my channel on Twitch. You know, here's all these people streaming Fortnite, but if they pretended to be Will Smith streaming Fortnite, then they'd get a lot more viewers. Experience a little different for one. I've met some women that have hitchhiked solo, and they've done well with it, and it's been enjoyable for them. But a lot of them have a lot stricter rules than I do. Like, I have rules that I follow while hitchhiking. Like, one woman I met that hitchhiked solo, she would only take rides from a woman that would pull over for her, or families. If it was a solo guy or a group of guys, she would politely turn down. Politely? That's not a word, is it? Politely turn down the ride and then wait for the next one. But her average wait time was quite short. As a hitchhiking stream as a woman, I'd name myself Tenstruation. Alright. Wait, but that's not even like hitchhiking exclusive, that's just like tent. You know, you could do a camping stream, and that name would work. I'm gonna go in here and go to the washroom. I feel so dumb just standing in the drive-thru waiting for a car to drive. Bonjour. Can I get 2 cheeseburgers? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
Ce sera tout?
2.
Tout cheese.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Alright.
2 oh.
€2. Perfect. I'll walk around. Alright. See you in a minute. Yeah. Perfect. Merci beaucoup. Yeah. Now I'm going inside because it's raining. Don't care if you're 19. 19 was the...
Plated banana.
With a fork and a knife and a napkin and a Snickers. Wow. Awesome. Looks good, thank you. Looks good? Yeah. Thank you. Dude, all I got was 2 biscuits from KFC. I just wanted a light snack because I thought I was hitting the road, but little did I know I'd be spending 7 hours hanging out in a storage unit.
You finish this yourself.
I'm gonna pay him right now. Hold on, let me just...
Pay him and let me go.
Alright.
I gotta go. You finish this yourself.
Alright, let's just throw this up really quick.
Dude, I'm not
Yeah, but it's
saying
already,
anything.
look at it, it's already emptied out. Everything's emptied out. We're just getting the end of it.
I mean, what the fuck have you been doing up here? For sakes.
Unloaded all that.
There's nothing else more downstairs. What the fuck have you been doing up here? You can't clean this little bit yourself. I gotta drive this fucking kid to Boston. Give him the fucking money and let me go.
Alright, come.
Give him the fucking money.
Alright.
Get your money and let's go. I'm fucking leaving right now.
Alright, hold on. Just let me... I gotta friggin' go to the ATM. Hold on.
You gotta go to the fucking ATM.
ATM, I told you I'm on credit for last...
Can you give me that back?
What? What's this?
That's how much the ticket cost.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be proper hitchhiking.
Oh, no way. You know what?
There you go. Put that in your documentary.
Wouldn't be proper hitchhiking. It would be for it. The route I looked at was like through Roswell, New Mexico and stuff like that. Aliens. Yeah, for sure. Dude, I'm just a small live streamer.
They stream you? I guess they watch you.
You watch?
They watch your videos.
You watch my videos? Really? You're the first person I've met that's watched my stuff. That's really cool. Of course you can get a picture of me. I'm a really small streamer, so I'm surprised that you...
They're always on the do.
On the thing? Awesome. How do you guys want to do it? You want to be on both sides? Or yeah. Alright. There you go.
Oh my god.
What's up?
Come back in here, buddy. That's what the wife gives me to give to you for you to have a little snack on the
Oh
way,
my
somewhere along the way. Welcome, buddy. In case you get a little bit hungry.
You know, easy our food. Thank you very much. Aw. We got some chocolate squares, some Twinkies, and some little bites. Maintenance time.
Waka waka, thank you for the cake.
That was Maka Waka? Thank you, Maka Waka. Oh, wait, this one or that one?
Cake.
Thank you, Maka Waka. There you go.
You have to say his name. You have to say his name 3 times really quickly.
Maka Waka, Maka Waka, Maka Waka.
That's it, there we go. He's summoned.
I have a chocolate stain on my pants. Alright, we're back. How are the clips? Which one do we see? What was our favorite one that we watched? Powerball, 10 million. Could win 10 million New Zealand dollary dues. No, it's an Australia thing. Storage clip? How long do clothes last for you? Depends. I go through pants pretty quick. I probably, since I started streaming a year and a half, over that ago, down to like 6 pairs of pants or something. Maybe not quite 6, 5 pairs of pants. Got, you know, the storage unit in Boston. Good times. Oh, gee. Hi. How you doing?
Good. Just wanted to shake your hand. You do awesome work, right?
Hey, thank you very much.
Good. I'm the one that you didn't stay at my cabin, you bastard.
I got an invite from...
No, I saw the whole thing. It's when the Kama Sutra book came out, I was like, nah, he's not there.
Hey.
Awesome.
Hey.
Good to meet you.
It was nice to meet you. Nice to see you face to face. I saw you in chat and everything
I
like that.
was just getting fuel and then I saw you walk past and I'm like, oh, I've got to go shake your hand.
No, for sure.
Oh, man,
Awesome.
have a good time, man.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate the offer and everything.
No worries.
See ya.
I'll definitely subscribe to you.
Take it. See you, man. Give an offer for a place to stay here in town. From him in chat? What's the username again? Yeah, off the top of my head. If I saw it in chat, I'd remember it, but... Was this Highway 1 now, or is this still just a local town? I was like, that's a freaking juicy shoulder right here. Looks like it's pretty well used as an actual turnoff though, based on the tire tracks. Oh, this is Highway 1 now. I check anywhere around here. Local town, we'll go to Highway 1? Wait, this isn't Highway 1 right now? It might be better to walk across the river or something if it still hasn't picked up quite yet. Yeah, it's quite rural once we get around the bend there. It's probably picking up speed to highway speeds at that point. Expect South Island to be so flat in this area? Yeah, well, this is the flat, like, kind of agricultural area. And then, as you go west, you'll hit the mountains and stuff. And a bit north of here as well, there's quite a few mountains. Bridge is where Hunter K starts. So probably somewhere around here is your best bet. Line of sights here is good. Just looking at a map here real quick. Good just before the bridge, anywhere along there as well. Just deciding, 1 second. Yeah, street view pulled up here. After the bridge, the shoulder narrows up a bit, and it goes around a bend, then it opens up, but then you're into highway territory, so we want to do it somewhere here, for sure. I think here's the best spot. Oh, that's our friend. That's the guy in chat. Alright, it's like a good spot. And there's a coffee shop there. Oh, that's a pie place too. Could have got like, it looks like a local place for pies. Oh well. Oh well. What can you do? Used to be a big pub in the spot across the road. Oh yeah, I see that. What's that cardboard? I use it to make hitchhiking signs if I feel they're necessary or if I just feel like using one. I haven't used too many in New Zealand. Like there's like one road running north south in these parts. On Highway 1, facing southbound traffic, I think it's pretty clear what I'm trying to do. Nice day, but it looks nice when going not too heavy. Yeah, this is really comfortable for being outside. If I had to do a heavy walk, I'd still get a little bit more, but it is really nice to have that breeze. But really, zero things to complain about. Trying to hook up with some locals for a few pints tonight, or isn't there a bigger city nearby? I don't know. Yeah, it's the weekend, it's Saturday. I don't have a plan, like I usually don't. Yeah, no plan. We'll see what happens. Not as funny? What do you find funny about the knot? That guy pointed right, saying he's turning. Pretty steady traffic, hard for me to talk to you guys. Chat ignored as usual, and then I come in and then you're talking amongst yourselves. I don't actually have anything to respond to. Many sheep in New Zealand, I heard? Yes, I can confirm there are many sheep here. Lots of cows too. Never have the balls to travel alone and hitchhike and stay from the family. I love what you do. Thank you, Brian. Yeah. Love what I do. Yeah, it's getting windier. It's still really comfortable outside, but it's windy. Another one of those rental van things. I'm betting 10 gifted subs, like, that I will not get picked up by one of those rental vans in New Zealand for the month plus I'm here. That is my bet. As in, I'll randomly get 10 subs if I do get picked up by one. Well, we did have the girl in Iceland. She had to rent a little van thingy, a really small one, and she picked me up. Don't say that you didn't say it? Yeah, no, you can actually clip that one and I'll do it. They got the turn signal that they're about to go back out. They have the right turn signal. signaling like they're going back out. Guessing, because I don't know what they're doing. I'm just gonna keep hitchhiking because they got the right turn signal on the streets. They're like, yeah, they U-turn. The thing is, like, if they pull past me and I can't tell they pulled over from that, all you need is a little boop on your horn, or just wave your arm out the window and do it like a, get over here. Some of the people pulled over way past me and I didn't see them actually pull over for me. Dance a little bit, you'll have more chance. Trust me, I made it. What did you make? What did you make? Like an arts and craft? What did you make? What hand gestures that drivers signal back me? One sec. There's a few different hand signals drivers give as they go past. Not everyone does. Quite often, if they're staying local, they'll point either down, or left, or right, or use all their fingers, essentially pointing that they're staying or turning. That's the most common. They'll also give you a thumbs up back and stuff like that, but yeah. I made it from New York City to Cali and did most of Europe. Fair enough, you've done some hitchhiking. I've also done some hitchhiking. What are we at now? I've hitchhiked across Canada 5 times and through Ireland, Wales, England, Scotland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, France, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Austria, Slovenia, Croatia, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Russia, Japan, Australia, United States of America, Iceland, Northern Ireland, Andorra, Spain, Portugal, Czech Republic, Fiji, Malaysia, and New Zealand. Yeah, that was a flex. This country get the fastest hitch. The fastest average was in Fiji, about 6 minutes, I think. But the fastest like individual ride has been like the first car, and that's happened still several times, but like statistically a small amount of times. But we've been picked up about 1,700 times through all those trips, and it's probably happened like 20 times maybe where like the first car pulls over. I've also had people offer rides before I even start hitchhiking because I look like a hitchhiker with the cardboard and all the gear and stuff. So we'll give him a ride on a plane. 5 different airplanes. 2 in California, 1 in Colorado, 1 in Kansas, and 1 in Louisiana. And 2 hot air balloons. You have a car? No, I don't. I used to, but I don't anymore. Early morning, saw the notification while I was still at work. Yeah, it was like 7:40 a.m. or something here. Triple A, how's it going? Is it legal to pitch tents in most countries? In some places yes, in some places not. Where are you from? I'm from Western Canada. British Columbia, Vancouver Island. Pickup lines? I don't use lines to get picked up, I use my thumb. So I don't know. Did you ever pick up a hitchhiker? Yeah, I just don't drive very much, so I think I've picked up 3 in my life, because I used to drive. I didn't see that many. Yeah. You gotta do the cardboard trick? Cardboard trick. Even just using a cardboard sign? I think this road's fine for just straight up thumbing it. Why? Are you saying I should hitchhike like this? One time we walked past the hitchhiker, and I meant to say hi to him and wish him good luck and wait for him to get a ride. This was in the US at an interstate. And, one sec. Say hi, wish him well and stuff like that, because there's really, on that on-ramp, there wasn't really much room to hitchhike on, so there's like one good spot. So I was gonna wait for him to get a ride. But he was hitchhiking essentially like this. And when I went up to say hi, he didn't say a single word to me, he didn't make eye contact at all, he kind of just like drifted around me and then walked off the on-ramp as I went there. I'm like, I wasn't trying to take the on-ramp from you, I was just gonna say hi. Just trying to say hi. But in general, I think for hitchhiking, it's best to own what you're doing. Like, don't do some kind of half-assed little thumb here and looking all timid. Own it. You want to be aggressive, jump in front of the car? No. Also, that's illegal. In most places. I just want to be visible and for people to fully know what I'm doing. And like, kind of like just barely sticking your thumb out there doesn't accomplish that. Hitchhiker and that's okay. I sleep all night and I hitch all day. Really? It's over 20 minutes average in New Zealand? It doesn't feel like that. It does not feel like 20-minute average. The arm gets sore. If the traffic is 100% solid and I don't get an opportunity to put my arm down ever, then it'll get sore a little bit. Imagine you got picked up in a Lambo. I got picked up in like a $4 or $5 million King Air 250 airplane. Been to Rotorua yet? Yes. I'm curious what the median average would be compared to the mean. Because the median should get rid of any outliers as far as really long wait times. I think might be a better representation. channel deserves more subs than you do. Oh, thank you very much, Rush Joff. Is that a private jet? It was a chartered airplane. So I pitched what I was trying to do to a couple, and they paid for a charter flight from New Orleans, Louisiana to Monroe. So they paid for a pilot and a plane to be there for them, and they asked the pilot if they could take me, and he said yeah. Cycling tour across the country? I have not. I'd like to at some point. Hitchhiking at its core is essentially being like, standing there being like, I'd appreciate a lift in the direction you're going, because I'm heading that direction. That's why I'm standing on this road hitchhiking here. So, I'm not trying to get people to go out of their way to take me anywhere other way. It's just, if you're already going that way, I'd appreciate a lift. Someone pick him up already? I don't mind waiting. I don't mind the process of hitchhiking at all. I can be here for a few hours and I'll be just fine. And I just ate as well. And I'm caffeinated, so happy days, guys. We're just about to ride in a jiffy. I have. I've cross-dressed and hitchhiked. And I was beautiful. Stunner. Wait, what's this? Whoa, Star Bitsy-chan. What the raid? Thank you very much, Star, for that raid, and everyone welcome to Hitch, where we're actually doing the hitchhiking thing with the thumb and all that stuff. Is it Ireland? Where are we right now? Where are we coming? Missed this out. I'll catch up in a second. Thank you very much, Star. Appreciate that. Everyone welcome to Hitch, where we hitchhike. That's the whole concept of the stream. If you don't know what hitchhiking is, when you stick your thumb out next to your roadway, cars drive past, eventually someone recognizes that thumb up as a, hey, I'd appreciate a free lift. And then they pull over, we make sure we're going the right direction, and then they take me where they're heading to. Also ask if I can bring the camera with me. I come from Cork, Ireland. I've been there before. I like Cork. Well, I love Ireland. I don't think there's anywhere in Ireland I don't like. So... But hope Star Stream was awesome. and welcome to the Hitchhiking Stream. Let me just catch these subs. Star with the 13-month resub. Daddy! Thanks for the 13-month start, and thanks for the raid. I appreciate it. I think I missed another sub. The Naked Monkey with the 2-month Twitch Prime resub. Appreciate the 2 months. The Naked Monkey. Have I missed anything else? I think I missed Chris Wonder Woman's 3-month resub an hour ago. Loving the content, Hitch. New Zealand is awesome. Yeah, I love it here. It's a beautiful place. Nice people, good hitchhiking, fast rides. Happy days. Happy days. No, that's still turning. Your stomach has more bones in it than most adult humans' entire bodies. Yes, it's true. I'm a medical anomaly. Medical anomaly. Police ever give you a ride? Yeah, I've had several rides from the police, mostly in the United States. In the US, it was very common for the police to pull over and check you out, run your papers, make sure there's no warrants on you and stuff like that. But once they figure out I have my head on my shoulders, they usually warm up a little bit and they're pretty nice. And then I'll ask them if they can give me a ride down the road if they got some free time. And half the time they'll take me. Is it hot there? What are we, like, high teens? With a decent little breeze, but it's a northerly wind, so it's not that cold of a wind. If it comes from the south, then that wind is essentially coming from Antarctica and it's rather cold, but it's a northerly wind. Longest wait time yet in, say, New Zealand, hour 20. No one wants you to leave Timur? Say that right? Anyway, we'll get a ride eventually. Always do. It's fun to get a ride in a cool Mustang. Is that Timaru? More like Timarude. That's pretty good. I like that. No, I like this town though. I think it's cute. Have like a map of his route in New Zealand. We have an exclamation point map, and I think it is partially updated for New Zealand. It might not be to this exact location, but it should show you at least the first X amount of rides in New Zealand. But it also shows you everything else that we've hitchhiked on stream. Hitchhiking in Samoa? I'd like to. The closest I did was Fiji. She's from Brazil. Good luck. Thank you, Diego. Can always use a little luck. How much did the flight cost in New Zealand? I think it was like 600 Canadian dollars from Malaysia. It was very last minute. So I think given the last minute nature of it, last minute flights are usually pretty expensive. It was an okay deal. Shouldn't hitchhiking in New Zealand be rather easy? I'd consider it easy. We've had like just a couple longer wait times, but on average, like a lot of our rides have been super quick. A lot of our rides have been super, super fast. Shift beer will increase your odds of being picked up. I have a feeling that it would, but we'd have to like. We'd have to like do statistics in the same country, in the same areas, with a beard, and then do it again without a beard. But then there's still some variables that can change, like the time of day, the day of the week, and stuff can just change your traffic. So I think it'd be tough to get like accurate statistics on how much the beard helps or hinders. Well, I think if anything it would hinder. Drivers wave down at you. A lot do, but not all of them. Maybe half in New Zealand do. Just under half. Where in Wales do you hitchhike? Well, I took the ferry from Rosslare, Ireland to... Was it Fit? No, I forget where it was to. I can't remember the names of the places, except for that one place that was really long. Well, I can't remember its name either, but it's like the short version is like Handhair PG or something like that. Does anyone remember my route? Well, anyway, exclamation point map shows you my route. Your map is updated, Teamer. Oh, okay, we're updated. Nice. Take motorcycle hitches often. I've only had one motorcycle and then like, what, probably like 5 scooters. You want motorcycle hitch? Well, we get a lot of scooters. Like in Malaysia, we got a pretty high frequency of scooter rides. We've only hitched one motorcycle, and that was in Ireland, just outside of Dingle. And that was fun. That was cool. Do you ever use your right hand? I've caught more rides with my right thumb than my left thumb because I'm from a country where they drive on the right. And the majority of the time I've spent hitchhiking have been in countries where they drive on the right, which means I use my right thumb. Because traffic would be coming this way on this side and I'd be catching it with my right thumb. But the left thumb is starting to catch up. I've been spending quite a bit of time in left hand or left side driving countries, which means I use my left thumb. We did 2 months in Japan, got 100 plus rides in Japan. A month in New Zealand, in Australia, now we're in New Zealand. We've been doing a lot of left hand. actually hike to find a good spot to hitchhike. But if you mean why do you hitchhike, I do it because I enjoy it. That's not for me. Charity hitchhike race in Germany. I haven't heard about. Well, I've actually got picked up by someone that did a charity hitchhiking race, but there's several in Europe, I think, hitchhiking races. I've never heard of any in North America, but Europe still seems to have a little bit of a culture behind the whole hitchhiking thing. But why don't you drive the world instead of hiking? Because I like hitchhiking. It's extremely social. Every time someone pulls over, I'm meeting a new person. Hey, how you doing? Where are you heading to? Dunedin. Dunedin. I'll help you on the time. Before I hop in, I make like the slide with your documentary about it.
Oh, you can put it in the I hitchhike all the time.
Oh, you do? Alright, no worries. Bag in the backpack or the back seat?
Oh, maybe you'd be happy with it.
Alright, cool. Thank you.
Important in the back seat. Pull up the road a little. Pull up here a little.
Pull up a bit.
Yeah, I'll pull over here.
Well, thanks for grabbing me, man.
Nah, all good, mate. As I say, I hitchhike all the time, mate, so I always pick up hitchhikers because I know what it's like to be walking down the road, not even anywhere to go. Do you need to do it before we drive off, or you just want to do it as we go?
Sorry?
Is it already going?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sweet as. Where are you from?
I'm from Canada.
Oh, nice. You guys are all legal up in the weed now, eh?
Yes, we are. I heard you guys are in the process.
Yeah, getting there.
Yeah, like next year referendum or something, or?
Yeah, next year referendum. But they don't know whether they're going to like decriminalise it, just straight legalise it, or if it's going to be legalised for medical use only or recreational use. Like,
okay.
It's probably going to take another 5 years before they get to that.
Well, yeah, it's quite a process in Canada as well.
Yeah.
But we went from like fully illegal to fully
recreational.
Yeah, recreational, taxed and everything like that. So, like in the US, they're doing like state by state by state by state.
Yeah.
Canada just did the whole thing. Like,
well, the cops are a lot more lenient on it now. Like, you get caught with it by the cops now. Like at my place where I stay, like I've got in a big boarding house and a couple of us all smoke up in there. Cops come around every now and again looking for people, and they just tell you to open your window up.
Well, it smells a bit up here. Open your window and just laugh at it, you know? That's the cops' attitude towards marijuana now.
Well, I'd say that it's the same in Canada, in most places. If they catch you like smoking a personal consumption amount of weed, they don't really care. They're not gonna give you a ticket. They won't even take it away from you. They'll just tell you to maybe put it out if you're somewhere where it's public and it might bother someone.
Yeah, if smoking it in a stupid spot like a playground around kids
Of course,
and
yeah.
shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
You can smoke it outdoors and that, but you know, you've got to be clever with it, you know?
Yeah.
You're not going to go sit at the playground and drink a bottle of wine, are you? You know, you'd get someone ringing the cops on you, wouldn't you?
There's a time and a place for that, right?
Yeah.
It's not a playground.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And they're all about playgrounds in New Zealand. They're actually being made smoke-free now. It's actually illegal to smoke on the playgrounds. The whole park area. It's
I guess that
illegal
makes sense, yeah.
No, I don't know how well it gets
around kids.
enforced.
Yeah. Is this all? Was this canola?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, it's linseed. Linseed oil.
Linseed oil.
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, they grow heaps of it here, eh? What is it? That's on here.
Oh, good oil. Interesting.
Doesn't even say. No, I'm pretty sure it's linseed. The old man was telling me about it. I've always wondered what it was too.
There you go. What are you heading down to Dunedin for?
That's where I live. I just shut up to Christchurch, drop a mate off, and
you drove all the way from Dunedin to Christchurch to drive a friend up there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long
I dropped
drive.
him off last night. And
Okay, now you're heading back down.
this morning.
So what is that, like 4 hours?
Yeah, about 4 hours.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. This thing's pretty cheap to drive though.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got there on from Dunedin to Christchurch on $40 diesel or $30 diesel.
Yeah. That's not bad. Do you do a lot of driving?
Yeah, a wee bit.
Yeah.
I'm a bricklayer by trade, so
Oh yeah.
normally do a lot of driving all over the country, but
Okay, so you have to travel a lot for work. It's not always local.
I'm a bit of a wanderer. Like, I don't stick with the one company, or if I get a better deal elsewhere, I'm not loyal. I'm going to get that better deal. Like,
Oh, I think
that's
that's
the kind of the trade
that
you've got
makes
to be
sense.
in now.
Yeah.
Well, like, you know, we've got a massive tradesman shortage in New Zealand, but
Do ya?
yet I'm struggling to get $23-24 an hour.
As a skilled tradesman now.
As a skilled tradesman, and they're raising the. Warehouse and that. Just check out people who are getting paid $20.50 an hour. And I was bored, so he's like, oh well, you might as well fucking have a practice at laying a few bricks. And as soon as I started laying bricks, he's like, hey, fuck, you know what you're doing. Have you done this before? I was like, nah. Just, you know, it's pretty easy.
There you go.
All I done was watched everyone else and watched, you know, everyone had their own technique.
Yeah.
How they done it, and I used everyone else's technique and
To build your own,
a
yeah,
bit
okay.
of this and a bit of that from everyone else's and work my own way. And
Yeah. Do they do a lot of brickwork construction, or is it mostly like timber frame and stuff like that?
a lot of block work and that, because the foundations and all that are always block. Obviously the big commercial buildings, we do a lot of block work in them.
Yeah.
Like brick houses, like today, they're not actually, it's all timber frame just with a brick veneer on them. They're not actually bricked up like they used
I
to.
see. Okay. Yeah.
Like, you know, you used to have free skin thick brick houses and that. They don't do that anymore.
Would-
You got like a 70mm wide brick on the that's laid on the old bricks were 110 wide. The ones we
Okay.
lay on the houses today are 70mm wide.
Okay. Is that because of like the wood does better with earthquakes and stuff like that for like rating and stuff like that, or is it just cheaper to build?
Cheaper.
Okay.
It's just cheaper to lay, cheaper to make, and at the end of the day, it's non-structural. It's only a linear.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a weatherboard.
Okay.
It's just all the wooden framing is the structural part of the house, and we just lay the bricks up and put a couple of ties into the framing, and the timber framing actually holds the brick wall up too.
Oh, okay. Do you do any like structural brickwork?
Yeah, I've done in Christchurch. I've lived out there a few years ago. I've done I built the whole courthouse, all the police cells and all that.
Yeah.
We've done 70,000 blocks in there.
Oh wow.
There's another old Woolston Tannery. It's an old antique sort of mill.
Yeah.
We done laid 190 old recycled bricks on that. 190,000.
Jeez, it's a lot of brick.
Yeah, it's
So
about 2 years work. That one.
it's a bit of a process. Like if you take old bricks and they still have all like the mortar or whatever
mortar
on
and
it.
that, yeah.
Like, is the
process to get them clean and ready to
It's
use
a long
again?
process.
Yeah.
It's basically hammer and bolster. You do have a hammer and bolster, like the building we were doing in Christchurch, because it was quite a famous old building, and all the bricks fell off it in the earthquake.
Yeah.
But they actually, all the bricks that fell off the building, kept cleaned up. They hired, I think they had about 10 people. They were sitting up there, they were just dropping pallets off of bricks. There were about 10 people there for 6 months straight, just cleaning bricks.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, just sitting under this big covered in bloody couple of containers with a tarp over it, and
Jeez,
just
that's
chipping away at
a
bricks
huge
all day.
process.
Yeah. We were laying them faster than they could bloody clean them.
Because you just gotta chip it off, essentially?
Yeah, some of it's real easy to break off, and then some of it's just like rock solid.
Yeah.
Like over the years, they would have done repairs here and there, and the grade of, like back then they didn't even put cement in their mix. It used to just be sand and lime.
Oh yeah.
Never had cement in it.
So that makes it easier to chip off then?
With the old school stuff is real easy. It just comes off like, you
kind of just
like a bit of hard
crumbles,
sand. You just crumble it off, and
Yeah.
but if it's got cement in it, you've got to chip away at it.
There you go. And you have a few days off right now, or?
I'm in between work at the moment. I got a couple maybe cashies in there.
Oh yeah. Is it
Easier that way? It's white baiting season too, so I try.
yeah.
I try save all my good jobs that I know I'm going to make some good money and only had to work fuck all.
So you do a lot of fishing then?
I'm a white baiter. I go white baiting quite a lot.
So what's the process for white baiting? Like what is that? Is that
It's like tiny little baby fish.
Yeah.
They're like this big, like seafood.
Yeah.
It's quite a delicacy. We got the best white bait in the world in New Zealand. There's only a couple of places in the world that actually comes up. A lot of it comes up in Thailand and that, but their water's too fucking dirty.
Mm-hmm. And how do you catch it? With
just a net.
Oh, just a net.
Just
Okay.
set a big net out across. You run a couple of aluminium poles along the front of your net. Have a screen on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's certain regulations. Like I think we only allowed a 4 metre screen, 700mm opening on the front of your net, or it might be a wee bit bigger. You got to be within 5 metres of your net at all times. You can't set a net and leave.
Okay.
So you've got to be there by your net the whole time you're there, because it's starting to become an endangered species now.
Is it? Okay. And do you just fish it for yourself, or do you sell it?
Oh no, it's actually, well, it's not illegal to sell it, but to sell it you basically need to be declaring taxes and shit.
Okay.
I don't like to sell it because at the end of the day it's going extinct. I get enough for a feed for me, I get enough for a feed for my family and friends, and I give it to people, and that's me for the season. I don't get greedy, you know?
Okay.
Because I want to go back every year, and if you want white bait, you'll go out and get it yourself. You shouldn't have to go and buy it, That's one of those things about white bait.
Is it pretty easy to find?
Yeah. It's just tidal running rivers. You go on, you catch them on the high tide.
Yeah.
So you'll go in there about 2 hours before the high tide. It sits for about an hour, and then in 2 hours after, when it starts going out again, is your prime time for catching white bait.
There you go.
What do you do with yourself?
So I full-time hitchhike and broadcast it. That's my job.
Wicked.
It has been for a year and a half now.
That's fucking awesome. So you've been hitchhiking all over New Zealand?
Yeah, I started in Auckland. It's only been 2 weeks now in New Zealand though.
Oh yeah.
But before that I was in Malaysia, before that Singapore, before that United States. So it's just a full-time thing now. Now I've hitchhiked in 34 countries.
Oh,
so I just go all
I
over.
haven't even left this country yet.
Would you like to?
Yeah, one day.
Oh, whereabouts would you like to go?
I'd actually like to go to Europe, eh? Like, America's just, everyone goes on about, oh, you gotta go see this and that. It's like, fuck that. I'd like to go to Spain or something, eh? Like,
Oh, it's a nice place. I can recommend Spain.
I like going out and, seeing the outdoors. I'm not into all that adrenaline and adventure-y, junky stuff. I just going for a hike, I'd be happy as in a nice scenery and just hiking away. There are some nice places over there.
No, they absolutely do, and some good places for hiking as well. Spain gets really, really freaking hot. Well, except maybe in the Pyrenees and some of the coastal regions. But you could go in like their winter, and then it's pretty comfortable for hiking. Because I was just in Malaysia and I could not handle the heat there. It was like mid-30s every day and 80% humidity.
quite thick smog layer over the city too, which kind of insulates the heat.
Which city?
The pollution and that. Over in, like I said, a lot of those Asian countries are quite.
Yeah, well, it also feels like the air is really heavy because it's really humid. Like I'm sure you get the occasional humid day here, and it's like it feels like you're breathing in water. And it just feels heavy and uncomfortable and sticky. That's what I hate the most is that exact thing, is sticky air. So I was planning on being in Malaysia and then Thailand and then Cambodia and Vietnam, but I left early in Malaysia because I was just like, it's too hot, and I came to New Zealand like spur of the moment. Just I booked the flight like a day before I took it, because I'm like, all right, here we go.
It's been pretty terrible lately.
Oh, I've been lucky on the weather.
Yeah, it's been on and off. Like, down in Dunedin, it's been terrible in the last couple of days.
Oh yeah. No, I think I've been following like some good weather down from Auckland. Like I've only had like, I don't think I've had any days of full rain. The day I flew in, we got a little bit, but other than that, it's been solid. And then, did you guys have a heat wave like this past weekend?
Yeah,
it was like 30 degrees or some crap. Yeah.
Wow, that was unreal.
Yeah.
I think it was about 2 years ago. We had a massive heat wave across New Zealand.
Yeah.
And they ran out of fans. Like they were waiting on shipping containers and shipping containers of fans. Like it was newsworthy. Like people were going in and buying the last of the fans and then putting them on the internet for 3 times the price.
Really?
Because no one could get a hold of the fan. And everyone was just dying of heat exhaustion, you know?
Jeez.
I had about 3 of them running in my room and it was still piping hot.
Do many people have air conditioning units or mostly just run fans?
A lot of new houses do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just like sticking with the old traditional fireplace.
Yeah. Because like, what's a normal summer day for you guys in like Dunedin and stuff? How hot does it get?
A normal day, I would say 24 would be a good day.
Okay. That's
it
solid.
doesn't really get too much hotter than that. Like you might have an off day, you get to about 26, 27.
Yeah. Yeah, if that's about as high as it gets, then you probably don't need too much of air conditioning.
Nah.
Because like, well, room temperature is like 20, so.
It's quite an intense, because we're so close to the hole in the ozone layer, they reckon the sunburn, like the actual, the burn of the sun is actually a lot more intense on our skin.
Yeah, that's what people told me, yeah.
We've got one of the highest rates of melanoma in the world, in New Zealand.
Yeah. So, are you diligent with your sunscreen and?
Yeah, I'm a redhead too, so I've got it.
You burn easy, yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, I end up like a tomato.
Now, I'm pretty pale naturally, but my skin gets used to the sun. But I have sunscreen as well. Because people told me they're like, you need to wear sunscreen in New Zealand because it'll hit you hard.
It's a different heat, eh?
Yeah. But no, I've been loving it here because I find the climate just manageable. It's pleasant. I like being outside in this.
Even when I'm not on a miserable day, it's still quite warm. Like it's not freezing cold. Well, some days it is, but you can have a reasonably overcast day and it's still got that nice. Right?
Well, I was looking at the weather for more of the West Coast, like Queenstown and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And they're saying that like in the next week and stuff, they'll have some overnight lows around like 2 degrees Celsius and stuff like that with rain.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's some proper.
It always gets cold up around Queenstown, Alexandra, and that central. But it gets hot as fuck over summer though.
Yeah.
They get hit bad with the winter, but man, they get a mean summer.
Do you like having a really hot summer, or you prefer it to be more like the 24 to 27? Yeah,
not when I'm working.
Makes sense, yeah.
Throwing around 16 kg blocks all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets a bit boring.
Yeah.
Well, you literally fucking can't keep the sweat off your face. I was doing a job up in Hampton Springs, swimming pools there. Have you been through there?
Yeah, I was in Hanmer like 3-4 days ago.
I've done a block job in that swimming pool there, and I've done all the foundations for the new mall complex I got in there.
Oh yeah?
In the centre of town.
Oh.
But we were working there in the middle of summer. It was getting to like 38, 40 degrees. We were starting at 5 in the morning, working to about 11, 12 until it started getting too hot.
Yeah.
And then went, finished at like 1 o'clock, and then went back at 5 to about 7 or 8 at night, just to avoid the heat. Because we could, no one was. People were fucking dropping left, right, and centre.
Well, you were talking about Spain earlier. They have they do like a siesta there during the hottest hours of the day. They're just everyone stops working, the shops close down, and everyone just kind of like hangs out for like those same few hours where it's just hottest, and then they'll pick things back up a few hours later in the evening when it cools down a bit more.
Makes sense though.
Oh, for sure.
It's what they do with daylight savings in it. They adjust the time so it suits the farmers, so they can work in their bloody routines as they need to.
Yeah.
No, we done that heaps. Like, it would get to the point because it's quite sandy ground there. You have a bit of Rio rod sitting on the ground. We'd have those big, thick, heavy-duty rubber gloves on. Go to pick a bit of Rio rod up, it burns straight through the gloves and melts to your fucking hand. We had to hose them down before we'd pick up anything off the ground. You drop your tools on the ground. If it was down here for longer than 5 minutes, you had to pour some water on it before you tried picking them up. It was unreal.
That's crazy.
And because we were working down in trenches that were dug into the ground to build the outside of the foundation of the building,
yeah,
there was no wind down where we were laying the blocks either, so it was even hotter in the trenches we were working.
That's some brutal work.
About 2 meters underground.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the work though?
Oh yeah, I've been doing it since I was 14.
Yeah.
It's half my life now, yeah.
And would you ever want to do something different, or that's
I actually want to get into stonemasonry, and like take the next step in the business, or landscaping. Just because I got that sort of artistic mind, like I can look at something and sort of figure out it in my head, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to gardening and all that stuff, and you know, creative with, especially where that comes with the bricklaying and stonemasonry and that. You know, you can get real creative with that.
And would any of that require like a bit of schooling, or is that just be training on the job? You'd switch jobs.
Landscaping, I could go straight into a landscaping job, probably get paid a tradesman wage just because I can lay blocks and got a basic knowledge of fucking how to use tools.
Yeah.
You know, not a complete fucking retard.
So do you think you'll do that in the near future, or?
Yeah, I'm looking at it at the moment. I've got a couple of weeks small jobs of my own. I've got to finish off.
Oh yeah.
Keeps me ticking over anyway. I like getting out white baiting, so you only can white bait for 3 months of the year.
Okay.
So
you'll probably take the white bait season off, and then maybe look back at going some kind of job after.
I still work in between. Like that's when I save my cash. Is still white bait season.
Yeah.
Because then if it's because it only works on the tides. So you can get a low tide at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and that works good for you for a couple of days.
Oh,
that way, but you want to get, so some weeks you've got a whole week you can go out, and then some, you're missing 4 or 5 days of that week because all the tides are in fucking stupid cunty hours, and you're going to be out there in the dark.
Yeah.
Well, I normally go camping out there and as well. We hut build on the side of the river, camp out there, so I had to drive because it's about 45 minutes from when I live where I got to go white baiting, so I had to drive back and forth every day. Sometimes I'll just camp out there for 3 days.
If you're camping out there, will you go out when they have like the crazy hours for when the tide works for white baiting?
Yeah, just so I can get those.
Because it might be like 3 in the morning. You're like, all right, let's go.
No, you're not allowed to put it out in the dawn till dusk.
Oh, you can only do it dawn till dusk.
There's a lot of rules. A lot of
there is. Interesting.
It's and on the west coast, because that's the most. West coast of the South Island is the best place to get white bait in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the highest running places, but their season's being cut down to 1.5 months, maybe 2 months if I remember quite right.
Okay.
It might be 1.5.
Yeah.
It's just because it gets raped over there. And that's where the commercial fishermen set up over on the west coast. It gets that bad, territorial. You get a lot of the gang members and all that, and their families, and all the Māoris and their families and that. They'll bash people's head in
over white baiting spots.
For being in there over white baiting spots.
Jeez. That's kind of crazy.
You get on some rivers like the Matoda and that down south further.
Yeah.
They have these cabins, and these cabins are being nearly passed down from generation to generation. They're all lined up all the way down the river. Some of the cabins go for 30 grand. Just to buy the cabin, a little tiny cabin enough to sleep 2 people in, 30 grand. Just because it's because you're only allowed X amount on there, and all the titles are being bought now. So whatever can be built there, it has to destroy something else. The hut needs to be bought and a new one's going there.
Yeah.
Nothing else can be built down there. So those huts are worth thousands of dollars. I think the last one I heard of was $45,000 that it went for.
For a little cabin on...
For a little tiny cabin with a wee pot belly fire and couple of wee tiny bunks and a good wee jetty to go out to put the net out too though. But you know, it's a lot of money.
Oh, it is. Well, I've heard real estate's gone crazy in New Zealand. Like everything's gone up in price.
Yeah, renters. To rent a one-bedroom house, this is why I'm living in a big boarding house, a shared accommodation. To rent a one-bedroom flat for myself would be at least half my wages.
Really?
If I was working, yep. Yeah, $350 a week you're looking at.
Yeah.
And then your internet power, all that, then you're paying everything you don't even. It's not even. Like just because of some of the people that live there, but it's just you want to get anywhere in life, you gotta bite the bullet and live in some shit situation sometimes, I guess, just to save some money.
What type of personality problems do you run into in that
just
show?
gang members and all that.
Oh, gang members live there.
Yeah,
Okay.
they don't worry me in that. It's just their mentality. Like sometimes some of them are quite good and respectful, but then sometimes they, you know, they don't worry me. It's just.
Well, you're not part of like the stuff they do, so they don't give you any bother, right? Yeah.
Nah.
But yeah, I can see it. Just their mentality on things. If they're part of a gang and stuff like that, that might not be.
Well, it's just the way they handle shit instead of just, you know, talk. A simple problem could be just talk. Oh, hey, shit, that was me. Sorry. You know, instead fucking everyone gets angry and fucking everyone's yelling and arguing with each other. It's like, fuck, did you even bother to talk to anyone before you start fucking yelling and screaming? It's just that they don't have any people skills. You know, a lot of them have just been out of jail straight into the house, and you know, a lot of them are institutionalised. They don't. Most of them don't even live there long. They end up in jail like after 3 months of living back out of jail.
Okay, so the household you're in, they don't like do background checks or anything on people. They'll take anyone. Yeah, as long as they pay.
Yeah, as long as they pay their rent.
Yeah.
And as long as they're not dickheads. Like the landlord, I get on quite well with the landlord, so you know, I keep them informed if anything's going on.
Yeah. And the landlord's decent people?
Yeah, that good as. They put a massive Christmas dinner on for the whole house. They ask everyone to write their name down on the list to who's going to be there for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because some people go away and whatnot, and they'll figure out how many people are going to be there. Then they'll go get a feast and a couple of boxes of beers and drop it off, and they'll stay for a while, have a few beers with all the flatmates and that on Christmas Day. Yeah. Well, because a lot of them don't have families and that either, you know. So like, we all get in together. Like there's a big group of us through the house. We all, you know, pitch in $2-3 each, and you know, 10 of us do that. We've got enough to get a lot of veggies and some meat, and you know, we always cook up a meal. Just because a lot of us don't eat that well, because you know it's hard to cook for one person all the time. So every now and again, like I'll cook a feed, shout everyone, and someone else will cook a feed, shout everyone.
Okay.
Then we know everyone's having the feed too, you know.
That doesn't sound too bad. It sounds like there'd be some people kind of contribute to that, and other people would be outside of that situation.
Oh yeah, there's the outsiders that don't see how it's going to work, and you know, but you know, a lot of people, you know, they're starting to get along a bit better now, you know, and having the fucking sitting down at the table, because we've got a big kitchen and that, we all sit down and have a feed together, and it's, you know.
And how many people stay in that
Bring
house?
up your problems at the dinner table. Don't start talking shit behind your fucking backs. It's basically what I say when we sit down for a feed. You know? And they talk about it, you know. Fucking all good.
How many people live there? 28
bedrooms.
28 bedrooms. That's huge.
Yeah, it's an old 2-story villa that's been converted into a nunnery. So it's got the old main master bedrooms and that, all the big massive bedrooms, and then there's a shitload of tiny ass jail cells rooms.
Okay.
They're way cheaper, obviously. I got one of the bigger rooms. It's the only reason it's still there, really.
So like one of the old master bedrooms, or
what's that?
Like your room is one of the bigger old master bedroom ones?
Yeah. Big bay window with seats in it.
Oh, nice.
Right up top story too, so I get all the sun through the bay windows all day.
Nice. How much cheaper are like the jail style rooms?
Not much cheaper actually.
Really?
Like, I paid $220, and some of the rooms are half the size of mine, and the cheapest one's $180.
But yeah, I think I'd
some
pay
of them
40
are
bucks extra.
Some of them are quarter of the size of mine.
Jeez.
I can fit a fridge. I got a fridge, a fucking kitchen bench, a couple of wall units, drawers, couch, and bed, everything in there.
It's not a bad setup.
Oh, don't leave anything in the fridges, it gets missing. Like that.
Oh, they'll take your food?
Yeah. Even though there's cameras, just fuck, no one cares.
Oh, so they have cameras in the common areas?
Yeah. Oh, all downstairs is cameras.
Yeah.
All the entrances to the house have cameras.
Yeah.
Just if anything happens, they know who's in the house.
Yeah. So you're going all the way to Dunedin. I might get out in Oamaru.
Oamaru?
Yeah. Just check it out. I'm trying to do this trip slowly. Because I got a lot of time, so I'm trying to check things out as I go.
The weather's meant to be good anyway. You're not going to get rained on.
When was the last time you picked up someone hitchhiking?
Probably the last time I drove to Christchurch. I think I actually took someone to Christchurch when I was heading up there.
Oh yeah. Oh, like
the guy up there.
Just the other day?
No. Oh, no, not the
the last
about
time.
3 or 4 months ago was the last time I drove up there. Yeah. I actually haven't seen any on the road for a while. I suppose you don't see many through winter time.
Yeah, and it'll be getting busier now as it's getting warmer.
Yeah.
It's kind of different here. Most places in the world, it's a really uncommon thing to do, no matter what time of the year it is.
Oh, hitchhiking?
Yeah. But here it seems quite common.
Yeah, I do
like
it all the
very
time,
accepted. Yeah. What's the longest you've had to wait for a ride? Or it's been pretty quick?
Longest I've waited. I think I walked the full length of Timaru. The full length of Oamaru, got picked up, dropped in Timaru, then I walked the full length of Timaru.
Yeah.
That was a couple of hours. I walked the whole Dunedin motorway, and then I found out it was illegal to walk up the motorway. I walked from the bottom of the Sandhill Hill, that steep hill at the bottom of the motorway, and I walked all the way up the main highway. Oh, you wouldn't have been there yet, eh? To Dunedin?
Yeah, not yet. No.
Oh, yeah. Nah, you'll see the motorway, and I walked up there. Oh, holy shit, it was dangerous. But I didn't know, because I was only young back then. I was only 17. I'd never been up there before. I didn't know there was back roads that you could take to get to town that wasn't on the motorway.
Yeah.
The only way I'd ever been to Dunedin was up the motorway.
When you're hitchhiking, do you always walk while you're hitchhiking?
Yeah. As I say to anyone who's, you've got to show that you're trying to get to your destination.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than seeing someone sitting there on the chair reading a book, putting their thumb out. It's like, you're not even having, there's no effort involved.
Well, I find it depends. Like if you start walking out on this highway, there's like not much of a shoulder. There's not really many places where someone can pull over, nor a really safe place to walk, right?
Yeah.
So I do, especially if you're about to get onto like highway speed, 100+ km/h speed limits. I like to find a spot where it's like safe for someone to pull over, and they can see you from a distance.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing small local to local stuff, then might as well walk. But yeah. Different strategies for it.
I used to live down in Invercargill. I lived out in Bluff, but I worked in Invercargill.
Yeah.
I lost my driver's license, so every morning I'd have to hitchhike from Bluff to Invercargill, which is about 35 k's or something.
Yeah.
To go to work in the morning and then hitchhike all the way home again after work. But it ended up being alright because there was one person that went to work the same day as me every day. So I ended up catching him, and he got me a few times in a row. He's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm off to work." I leave to go to work this time every day. He's like, there we go, I'm here right to work.
Now you've got a ride sharing situation.
I think I walked all the way home twice. So I finished work at about 4:30 and didn't get home till 7.
And then the ride home, did you find some regulars or was it random?
No, it was a lot of randoms just because it was. Sometimes I'd go do a few things in town before I'd leave, so you get different time frames all the time. Because he wasn't, Bluff's quite a small town. I don't even think there's only one bank out there.
Yeah.
I miss that smell.
But I guess like you gotta milk 1,600 cows twice a day. Like that's quite a process.
Sometimes they do a 16-hour rotation.
Yeah.
Which ends up being 2 milkings.
Sweet. You gonna drive, are you?
Oh shit!
I was letting you do it as well.
I'm so used to. I'm still. Oh my god.
You're still
Not that way.
Some farms believe that they do, and they've stuck to that way. Like it was a thing they brought in years ago, and some farmers are still doing it that way. Some stick to the traditional 12 hours fucking in between, or whatever it is. Here 4 in the morning and 4 at night.
It sounds like you've had quite the mix of different jobs throughout the years.
Been there, done that, mate. Been there, done that. I do a bit of voluntary work too. I'm partway through the training for it at the moment.
Yeah.
But for Life Matters, which is suicide prevention group, basically just a person just to hang out with for people who who are going through some trouble in that.
Oh yeah.
So I recently went through some mental health issues myself, and I'm heaps better now on my meds and feeling heaps better about shit. But after seeing that and seeing how experiencing the struggle in our mental health system in New Zealand was like it's kind of hard, and painful to see people not getting the right treatment they can because of the lack of funding and that, and people getting pushed out the door when they're not ready, or they're having misdiagnosed because they're just trying to rush through fucking that many people.
Okay.
But
that's quite a kind thing to do, to volunteer your time and help people that are in a tough spot.
Myself, I wasn't the most sociable person. When I got into a deep state of depression, I just stayed away from everyone, But I like to teach my skills, It's as simple as going down to the park with someone for an hour and kicking the ball around or be there if they want to text, text a call, or someone to just have a yarn to.
Yeah. So when you were going through difficult times, what helped you get through that? Like right now you're trying to help people by being social and hang out with them, but for yourself, what helped you?
I guess just seeing the support my mates had for me, knowing actually seeing me go downhill, the effort they made to really try, always trying to get me out of the house. I'd always make up excuses, and it was, the main thing was, for me, wanting to help people was just the lack of help I received myself, it was, I wouldn't say lack of help I received, it was, I wouldn't say it was the best help, They're more reliant on medication as opposed to figuring out the root of the problems.
Yes. Okay. I think that's common in most places. Yeah. Now, to anyone that might be watching this program, do you have any advice for someone that might be going through similar experiences that you were having, like just a harder time where they're more depressed or anything like that?
Don't push people away. It's the hardest thing I did was keep pushing people away, and I almost lost all my good friends. But always, don't be afraid to speak up. I'm a hard man. I'm tattooed up to fucking. I ain't afraid to cry. I ain't afraid to speak up, and when I'm upset and speak my mind. That was one of the hardest things for me to ever do. To sit there and tell random strangers some of the hard times I've been through in my life. And, when you've got such a hard shell, it's not about being tough. It's no matter how tough you are, depression will still get you. You just can't let it get on top of you.
That's very true.
Just keeping busy. Just keeping busy,
message.
eating healthy, and just, every day think of something positive. I wake up every morning and, just, what's one positive thing today, What's one positive, what's one thing that's going to go right for me, Or if I can't think of anything positive, I look for a positive gesture when I'm out in the community, you know, and seeing that the faith in humanity restored when you just see a random act of kindness from some random stranger to another, you know.
Okay.
That gives me a bit of hope, you know. And
Yeah. No, like I generally think I have a pretty good mindset about things, but I see people at their best every single day. I'm hitchhiking almost every day, and you just meet the kindest people because you meet the people that see a stranger and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna give them a ride, I'm gonna give them a lift. And those are just the nicest people, so you just see the best of what humans can really be. So I think I'm lucky in that case because I have a very positive mindset about most things because I just see the world at its best, I think. I just meet people like yourself that just have this great positive mindset or are just kind to other human beings.
That's the main thing is negativity people have. Like, it's so hard. It's so easy to choose something negative about a situation, but it's even harder, you know. It's so hard to actually find a positive, you know. That's so easy to get down and depressed is because it's so easy to be negative, and instead of coming to a solution, you just sit there and you just, you know, you start stressing, you start worrying, you know, and most of the time it's always small things too.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of my friends go, I've lost a lot of friends to suicide and that. You know, that's one of the main things I'm getting right in behind the mental health. You know? I've been there, I've done that, so I'm not going to be like, you know, a person sitting there in a suit and tie telling you this is going to go wrong if you do this and this is what's going to happen. No, you're reading it from a book, mate. You know, I've been there, I've done that, I've experienced it, and now I want to help someone else before they make the same mistakes as I do. And my main goal is, I don't want to be a bricklayer forever. I'm not going to. My body's not going to last forever. I don't want to be a tradesman forever. I just want to go get a psychology degree and go to social working and work with kids from basically the age group of where I turned wrong and started sorting my life out, which is age of 14 to 20 or 13 to 20. Like, I want to stop them getting into gangs, I want to stop them getting into drugs, I want to encourage them to get into sports, you know. Just be their positive role model, but not that suit and tie that no one has a respect for. Like, I know that because I was that kid that looked up at that guy having no respect for him because I knew he was a nobody and had done nothing, you know, and pushed a pen around. But you got someone who's been there and done that and turns around and tells these kids, you know, telling them how it is.
And they have the real life experience.
They're going to fucking listen, you know.
Okay. No, that's awesome. And you'd make a huge impact in people's life at a very impactful period, like when they're young. You can make quite an impact.
That's the time we need to get at them, you know. The hardest thing is the stage between them getting 14 and realising school sucks and I want to leave school like all my mates and my brothers did, and you know, and it's encouraging them to get into jobs and teaching them how to spend their money well. They don't teach that shit in school though.
Yeah.
They don't teach you how to fund your. Oh, this clown, jeez. You know, they don't teach basic shit like anything like they used to. Like when I left school, I didn't know how to do my taxes. I didn't know how to do nothing. You know, they never, not once did they even try to teach us any of that. You know, you get a lot of these young fellas. Yeah, sweet, that's good. I left school at 14. I went straight into a trade. But some of these young fellas, you know, they have all these high hopes of getting into a trade and rah rah, and they get their first paycheck and they go and spend it all on their mates, and you know, thinking they're all this and that. And, you know, I know this because I've done that. You know,
it's very typical, especially young people. The money goes as fast as it comes in, and sometimes the money goes faster than it comes in, and then we get into debt, and
it's a lot harder for them today, though, because even back when I was younger in that, your dollar doesn't go as far as it did back in the day, you know. Like,
as in, like your purchasing power, like the average wages could go further.
You could get half a tank of gas for $5 back in the day, you know. The wages now, like the price of houses compared to wages is just, it's the margin has soared just so much. Like,
oh, it's the same where I'm from.
We can, like, you can't even have one family cannot live off a single income like it used to back in the day. You know, my grandparents easily lived off my granddad's income, with my old man, my auntie, and they had for quite a few years they had my dad's cousins and that. and there was a one-person wage. You see Kiwi families struggling. One of them's working a full-time job, other one's working fucking full-time job and a part-time job, and they're still struggling to put food on the table, you know?
Yeah, no, it's crazy. If you're out in a very rural area in New Zealand here, is it still kind of reasonable, or is it expensive everywhere now?
It's getting expensive everywhere.
Is
now,
it?
Yeah. Like the real rural areas, yeah, you get it for cheap. But yeah, it's
in general,
it's so far away from anywhere.
But then, unless you're farming, there's really not much work out there, right? So all the work's based around your population centres and stuff like that. So it's
you've got to like the lifestyle of being out in the middle of nowhere too.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of our the mental health problems are is dairy farms, because of the isolation issues and that. There's a lot of people. There's actually a girl going around at the moment. She's a farmer herself. It's, what's it called? Some charity. Speak Up. Speak Up or Bark Up. Just to encourage. As I was saying before, it was about the whole macho man mentality. You know, I don't need to talk about my feelings. You know, I'm a big fucking tough farmer, or I'm a big tough bricklayer. It's, you know, you got to look past that. You know, it's takes a bigger man to cry than a, you know.
Well, I agree with you. I hate the mentality, or like the kind of saying where, like, you know, men don't cry, they don't show emotions. You have to be tough, you have to be strong. You got to be a brick wall.
Yeah.
I think that's changing.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's quite a lot of it's coming down to our sportsmen in New Zealand. They're actually encouraging it too. Like one of our top enforcer rugby players, Manonu, bloody legend rugby player. He's gone through depression, and they're all, a lot of these rugby players are all speaking out about their depression, and he even said, you know, it's like we've got to stop this macho attitude, you know. He was known as the enforcer on the field. No one fucked with him, you know. He opened right up in this autobiography. It was like, it was a completely different person, you know, when you get to see the true person when they're not hiding behind something, you know.
And someone in a top position in rugby like that is in a perfect position to make a big impact on other people, because everyone sees them as this unstoppable force, like this they're an enforcer, right? So they're the big guy. You don't mess with them, as you were saying. And if they come out with saying that, you know, it's okay to have emotions, it's okay to do this, it can change a lot of people's opinion for the better. That's good.
No, it's good. Like a lot of men are actually coming out and speaking. Like I've been in workplaces now, and it's encouraged to talk to your fellow workmates about what's up. You know, if they're having a bad day, it's encouraged to sit down and take a fiver and have a yarn with them and make sure they're all good. Like, because you know when your workmate's not in it. You know, you work with them for long enough. You know when they're in a good mood or they're in a bad mood or something's gone wrong for them, or you know, most of the time they're making stupid mistakes that they never make. You know, and stressing out about it, how to fix it up. It's just knowing people's signs, you know. And the best people for that is, you know, your friends around them.
Oh, for sure. So have you worked around the same group of guys for a while? Like, you hop around jobs, right?
Yeah, I go in and I go from company back to company, from another company back to another company.
Do you see some familiar faces that kind of do similar things, or is it mostly all new people, all fresh faces?
You meet some new people along the way, and some fellas I've worked with before.
Yeah.
I've worked